Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us on the news briefing for this Wednesday. We're going to start with our PAHRO and disaster recovery with our colleagues from FEMA and SBA. The deadline for applying for disaster assistance is right around the corner, and we're very pleased to have Chad Bowman with FEMA and Marielli Carty from SBA here to talk about that. Chad, let's start off with you.
Of course. Good morning, and thank you for having me again this morning. And it's a pleasure being here. As you had stated, it is important to note that the deadline to register for assistance for the storms that occurred in February and March is this Friday, September 1st. What that means, if you suffered any damage from those storms or feel as though you had suffered damage from those storms, we ask that you register for assistance no later than this Friday, September 1st. And you can do so by visiting us online at disasterassistance.gov or calling our 800 number at 800-621-3362. Even though the deadline is going to pass soon, you can still get in touch with us after September 1st by going online or calling that 800 number. So if you have applied, or if you're going to be applying and have questions in the future, you can still reach out at the disasterassistance.gov website or the 800 number to get answers to questions or concerns you may have about your application. Lastly, if you receive a denial letter about your application, I cannot stress enough that we want you to please contact us. Call the 800 number and ask what the reason for the denial is. A lot of times it is just quite simply we are missing some information. And if we receive that information, the status of your application can change and you may still be eligible. So again, if you do receive that denial letter, please give us a call to check and make sure that it is truly, in fact, a denial and what we might be able to do to make you eligible. Lastly, please note, we just need you to register before September 1st, which is this Friday, in order to meet that deadline. So that's all I have on that, Maya.
Thank you very much, Chad. I've already got a question for you, but I'm going to go ahead and go to Marielli because there could be some additional questions after Marielli speaks. And Marielli, we know the deadline is approaching for SBA assistance as well.
Exactly. Hello, everyone. Yes, as Chad said, our deadline to request or to apply for physical damage is next Friday, September 1st. It is very important for the community to know that they can apply by accessing our secure website, disasterloanassistance.sba.gov. And for those who have already completed the application and want to know the status, they can call us to our customer service center. That is 1-800-659-2955. It's very important to remember that we're still receiving application until September 1st. That is this Friday. I mean, we are less than 3 days. So yes, and let's talk about numbers, Maya, quickly. We have received 70 home loans applications for the Monterey County. We have received 63 business and EIDL loan application, and we have approved more than $3.4 million. I will share this information in the chat. Very important, I will repeat, we still receiving application for physical damage until this September 1st. The affected people can apply through our secure website, disasterloanassistance.sba.gov. Maya, do you want me to set the same information in Spanish now, or do you want to maybe Chad can answer the question on the chat and then I can do it in Spanish?
Oh, that would be great if you don't mind. So we did have a question regarding disaster assistance. The question is, recently in an interview on CBS with the FEMA administrator, it said that FEMA emergency funds could be depleted within the next couple of weeks with national disasters happening in our country. What does that mean for recovery efforts in Pajaro or other parts of the country that are still trying to rebuild or recover from natural disasters?
Of course. Good morning, Derek, and thank you for asking the question. That is no secret, and it is a topic of conversation that is happening across the country as these storms continue to affect the country. And I think it's important to note, just like the FEMA administrator stated, we do not have an issue with the funds for any of the disasters that are currently have been currently declared, up to and including Hurricane Idalia. So as far as the recovery efforts go for Pajaro and everything in California under 4683 and 4699, there is no effect on any recovery efforts regarding this topic. Sorry about that, regarding this topic. Secondly, it's also important to note that that is a current situation, and we are talking about the end of the month, and there's plans in place to try to resolve this issue anyway. But as far as Pajaro and the county goes, and the state of California with these disasters, there's going to be zero effect to the recovery efforts.
Thank you very much. And Marielli, would you feel comfortable sharing that response in Spanish along with your information? You're on mute.
I'm sorry. The information that just Shad said now, or the information at the start of this meeting?
Whichever you're comfortable with.
Both. Okay, let's set first the Spanish, the SBA information in Spanish, okay?
Thank
you. Okay. Primero que todo es importante mencionar que todavía estamos recibiendo aplicaciones para los daños físicos hasta este viernes 1 de septiembre. Es importante que las personas soliciten a través de nuestra página web segura disasterloanassistance.sba.gov, y aquellos que ya solicitaron y estén buscando más información sobre el estatus de su aplicación, puede llamar a nuestro número de servicio al cliente al 1-800-659-2955. En cuanto a los números que nos ofrece el condado de Monterey que hemos recibido, en cuanto a las aplicaciones de la SBA recibidas también, hemos recibido 70 aplicaciones de hogares, hemos recibido 63 aplicaciones de negocios y hemos aprobado más de 3.4 millones de dólares en cuanto a esta declaración se refiere. Esta información la voy a compartir a través de nuestro chat. Habiendo dicho eso, la información que mi compañero chat de FEMA compartió al inicio de esta reunión, estuvo conversando que todavía están disponibles las asistencias hasta este próximo septiembre 1, este próximo viernes. Es importante que las personas que no han solicitado puedan solicitar a través de su página, a través de la página de FEMA. Bien importante, las personas que tengan dudas pueden llamar al número 1-800 de FEMA. Mi compañero chat va a compartir el número de teléfono a través del chat. Es bien importante que sepan también que siguen las asistencias disponibles y que pueden solicitar a través de la página web y a través de el número de teléfono del servicio al cliente también. Luego del 1 de septiembre se van a seguir recibiendo solicitudes para FEMA. ¿Okay? La otra información que compartió mi compañero chat también es en referente a la pregunta que se le hizo a través del chat, y pues estuvo comentando que las declaraciones, ¿verdad?, son diferentes y que las asistencias que se ofrecen en cada desastre no perjudican al otro. Es la información más importante. Lo que quiere decir es que los fondos que se van a utilizar para asistir a las personas afectadas de la comunidad de Pájaro están ahí disponibles y no va a haber ningún rezago en la asistencia que se le ofrece. Maya, that be all. I just translate the whole information that Chad shared with us at the start of the meeting, and of course, as a few minutes ago, Shad. So yes, is there any question? Is there any question?
First of all, thank you so much for doing this double triple duty. Are there any other questions for Chad or Marielli on the deadline date? Any other questions that you might have? I am not seeing any in chat, and I am not seeing any hands raised at this time. So that lets you off the hook, and I think permanently. Marielli, you've been with us so long, you feel like family. I want to thank you every week that you have been here sharing information. Chad, you and your predecessor, Tiana, were just so diligent about sharing, helping us get the information out to the community. And we just really appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts, all the times that you've been with us and helped us get this information out.
Of course.
Of course, thank you very much for having us. And I too will put the numbers in the chat. That way everybody has them as well.
Thank you, and we'll miss you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Maya.
Feel free to reach out anytime. You know where to find us.
Yes, we do.
Thank you.
Thanks again. Now turning on to another topic today. If you have a local business, you know that growing your business is your goal. And that is where the Apex Accelerator program can help you. Victor Valdez from the program is joining us to talk about how helping small businesses find, bid, and win government contracts is the goal of the Apex Accelerator. Hi, Victor. Thanks very much for joining us.
You're welcome. I'm going to share my screen here so you can see some slides.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. So we're Monterey Bay Apex Accelerator, and we're kind of a well-kept secret. Even formerly we were called PTACs, Procurement Technical Assistance Centers. And again, PTACs were, although they've been around since 1985, kind of a well-kept secret out there. Locally, we're administered by the Monterey County Business Council, but Apex Accelerators are funded through the Department of Defense. There's actually 96 centers across the United States and U.S. territories, and there's actually 7 Apex Accelerators in the state of California. And the mission of all Apex Accelerators is to promote economic growth and employment opportunities in the local markets they serve, by helping people to learn how to sell to the government. And how we do that is basically facilitating your access to the government marketplace. And although we're federally funded, that means access to local opportunities, state, as well as federal. So in general, this is what all Apex Accelerators do. Again, our focus is first and foremost just helping you in the government marketplace. And we do that by providing confidential services to you. We'll meet with you, provide one-on-one counseling, basically learn about your business, what you've done in the past, what you're currently doing, and then any kind of goals for government contracting. You know, in that process, we'll develop kind of a plan for you to, you know, what we need to do in the beginning. A lot of it entails doing some market research to really determine, does the government buy what it is that you sell? If they do they buy in the kind of quantities that you typically sell, those types of things. Part of that would be pre-award assistance, help you understand how do you go out and find these opportunities that are out there. And most of them are posted on public websites so that you can find them there. But when you see these opportunities and you look at these notices, oftentimes they can be very confusing to someone who's never seen them. So we'll help you review those, understand them, understand some of the language, what to look for that's really important for you in making that go, no-go decision of whether you want to spend more time to actually submit an offer or a proposal on anything that you might find. Says capability statements. That is actually a one-piece marketing promotion piece on your company that started in the federal marketplace. It's being adopted a lot by state, and then also a lot of Prime contractors that do a lot of business with the federal government love to see those. And basically, it's just a nice snapshot of your business in a format that has certain bits of information that really tells a story about your business. The post-award assistance we provide is, somebody lands a contract, but it's common that a conflict will arise. We'll kind of coach you through how to maybe handle that. In the federal marketplace, they offer what are called debriefs, so that if you don't get awarded a contract, you can ask for debrief and ask, why didn't I get it? What could I have done better? We suggest too to people that even if you win a contract, you still want to ask it debrief, to ask the contracting team, what could we have done better in our proposal so that, we can do a better job for you the next time. And then we can talk to you about protests. That's kind of something at the last resort. It's a lengthy process, can be very expensive. So we'll kind of talk to you about whether it makes any sense for your company. So then outreach events. So there's a lot of events that happen. We distribute through email events that are happening where you might be able to go and meet government contracting people or prime contractors that are working on government opportunities, etc. Typically those events, we'll be there telling people, like I am today, who we are, what we do, etc. But oftentimes we'll be doing trainings there as well on a certain aspect of government contracting. Right now on a bi-weekly basis, we're doing webinars on various aspects of government contracting. So they're very informative. Since they're virtual, it makes it really easy for us to reach out to all of our clients. We actually cover a 14-county region in Central Coast, Central Valley area. So it's become a great thing that we started doing in COVID, that we found out that basically our clients like it. It makes it easier for us to, push out information that's really important to our clients. Bid matching is a service that we provide. What bid matching is we use a third-party vendor who have a system that basically goes out and searches thousands of websites where public agencies are posting contract opportunities. We create a profile with you, upload it into their system, and once it's in their system, that system will search on a daily basis for any matches between your profile and the opportunities that are on the government websites. They're emailed to you directly, so then it just saves you the time of having to go out and search websites looking for opportunities on your own. One thing that a lot of people who are interested in government contracting come to us for is information about certifications. So there's a lot of certifications that are out there if you belong to certain socioeconomic groups, such as you're a woman-owned business, minority-owned business, a veteran-owned business. We'll talk to our clients about whether they make sense for your business or not. Certifications can be advantageous for you, but in some industries, they're very rarely, if ever, used. We help you understand really what are the qualifications for certification. There's misperceptions per that. So we kind of make sure that people are clear, that they understand what those qualifications are, what are the supporting documents they'll need to submit in an application. And one thing that's great about us is that we are your tax dollars at work, so take advantage of it. There are no fees or commitment to work with us. So if you'd like to learn more about government contracting, etc., you can go here to our website, MontereyBayApex.org. Sign up. One of our counselors will reach out to you and begin that process of learning more about your business and where you'd like to go in the government contracting arena. Kind of similar to that, I'll just add that, like, as on a week from today, actually, September 6th, the city of Salinas will be having an event there with them where the city of Salinas is going to talk about how to sell to the city. So there'll be people from their finance department to talk about purchasing goods and services that the city commonly buys. And then there'll be a presentation by their public works department that'll talk about how they procure construction services for the city. So that's coming up again next week on September 6th. So with that, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them for you.
Thank you very much. And what a great and thorough presentation. I really appreciate how thorough it was. And I thought I knew about it, but you taught me a few things. Well, if anyone has any questions for Victor, please go ahead and put them in the chat. I do have a question for you. What are the most common business types of businesses that would be successful in a government bidding landscape?
Oh,
I mean, you were just saying City of Salinas is going to have Public Works there to talk about how they get construction. And I know the county often puts jobs out for bid for construction, but are there other services that the business owners just might not realize that they have something that might have to offer?
gosh, we have clients in all kinds of different businesses. We do have a lot of construction clients, and that is sometimes an easy entry. I guess one of the things I would say that for a lot of businesses, especially selling to the federal government, that a great way to enter the government marketplace is being a subcontractor to a prime that has that contract with the federal government. So it kind of, you learn a little bit about the paperwork that's involved and things like that. The government buys just about everything, but there's a lot of regulations. One of the things that the government does in order to save us as taxpayers money is that they'll establish long-term contracts with certain vendors in order to save themselves money. So that makes it harder for people to kind of get into the game because you got to wait for that cycle to expire. I would say things like administrative support, like professional services like that is a big one. Janitorial can be good. Construction is good. IT services, that government buys a ton of IT services, but again, typically like with IT in particular is one of those where the easiest way to kind of gain access and kind of learn the ropes is being a subcontractor or somebody else.
So is this something that, say, a business thinks I'd like to explore what this could mean to me? By coming to you, can they connect up with not only finding out whether they have something that is useful to sell, but could they find subcontractors through your guidance about how to track those people down and become a subcontractor?
Sometimes one of the things that we kind of tell people, like oftentimes people will come to us and they'll say, and there's what's called a mentor protege program. Several of them with the Department of Defense has them, SBA has them. And people will come to us and say, can you help us find a mentor? Typically though, is that the business that's seeking a mentor, ideally it's a company that maybe they've already worked for in the past as a subcontractor. That experience went well. The subcontractor likes them. They like that prime contractor. So that works well. So again, if somebody's looking for a sub or to be a sub, it's more of who they know within their own industry is the best route to go. Versus coming and asking us like, well, who would be a good one for us?
So it sounds like if a business is wondering whether they have something, a check-in with you and a counseling appointment would be ideal for them to see whether they should pursue further or not.
Yeah, because we would kind of teach them where they can go online and look for opportunities to really see whether the opportunities exist or not. The other thing is that we always kind of stress, understand where you might be in the supply chain. So that meaning that you may sell a product or provide a service that eventually the government buys, but they would never buy it directly from you. Again, if you think of something like say like an aircraft, you may build parts that go into that aircraft, but you would never sell those parts directly to the federal government. They're going to buy the entire plane versus buying the parts. Down the road, eventually they might need replacement parts, so that might happen, but from in the beginning, that's not going to happen. So that's a good example of knowing where you're at in the supply chain. And people can be very successful always being a subcontractor. You know, you can be generating millions of dollars in sales every year by just being a sub to a prime that has those contracts with the government.
So for local businesses who are interested, besides contacting you, they should look for the September 6th event with the city of Salinas to find out more.
Specifically for the city, yes.
And that's
You know,
at least they can find out.
Right. We'd like to see, like, maybe a year from now, we would have an event where it would be not only the city, but the county, the city of Monterey, Marina, maybe some people from the Department of Corrections, from Soledad or something, so that bring them all together so there's more impact for the small business owner that's looking to do business with government. So that's something that we're working on.
That is a terrific goal. Thank you. And Victor, thank you very much for sharing information about the program, the upcoming events, and your contact information. We've got really great program.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Thank you. And now from business selling to business hiring, we're very pleased to have Laura Kershner from the Workforce Development Board to talk about the hiring events that are happening in the month of September. Hi, Laura.
Hi, Mary. Thanks so much for having me. Appreciate it. Yeah, we've got a number of things coming up for job seekers. Start off with the hiring that's being done by at their supermarket. They've already hired in excess of about 25 cashiers. They're on track to meet their goal of about 40 altogether. We're happy to provide the space for them to do that. They'll be here next month on the 20th, 21st, 22nd, 28th and 29th, and I'll put that information in the chat for you as well. Right now, they're especially looking for bakers and butchers, which are both a specialty profession. So if you've got that skill set, come on down because they need you. Again, they'll be here 20th, 21st, 22nd, 27th, 28th, and 29th. They're anticipating a grand opening in November of this year. The date is still in flux, so we don't want to give that out quite yet, but there'll be a sneak preview of that pretty soon. My supervisor and I got to go over and visit the facility. It's going to be lovely. It's at the old Kmart Shopping Center, 1050 North Davis Road here in Salinas. We're excited for them. They're just they're going to make this their flagship store. And so it's very exciting. They had some training going on that we got some video of. We put a little promo together. We're real excited for them. They're happy to be there. They're calling themselves the Latino Whole Foods of Salinas is how they're branding themselves. So it's going to be some healthy foods there. I'm terribly excited. I live in the area. It's going to be my go-to. I'm going to be 800 pounds real soon, I know. It's going to be just a real neat place. They anticipate having flowers at the entrance, a guacamole bar, in-store, a eatery. It's just going to be a great facility. We've also got some multiple employer job fairs scheduled for this next month, September 20th in particular, at America's Job Center here at 344 Salinas Street. Then we also have an industry spotlight virtual job fair coming up on the 29th of next month, and that's an online job fair. So you can go online and learn about healthcare opportunities, which is one of our main industries that we always need people for. We've also got some Workforce Wednesdays coming up. If you need help with that resume, which we know a lot of people do, this is your opportunity to come in and get some pointers on how you can really perfect that, how you can really make your strengths shine within your resume itself. That's again September 13th and again on September 27th, 2 to 5 p.m. Typically, we've got one employer on site as well at each one of those that's looking to hire. So great opportunity for people to come in and learn how to upgrade your resume. Those are the things that people really need. We find upgrading their resume, learning how to interview, learning how to network. So those are the things that we teach at America's Job Center, also known as the One Stop Career Center. Again, we're at 344 Salinas Street, our main office, but we've got some satellite offices as well. I put our website right here in the box, MontereyCountyWDB.org. Sometimes I think we like to think that we only do stuff for job seekers, but we've got stuff for employers too. We're all about bringing employers and job seekers together. We've got an employment webinar this next month that's called Closing the Gap. That's closing the generation gap. We've got so many different generations of people working. This is specifically for employers, and that will be on site September 13th, 10:30 to noon. We're going to identify different work styles, how to avoid misunderstandings, and develop strategies to overcome gap issues. We've also got some training and apprenticeship opportunities. The Tri-County Apprenticeship Program, that's a 10-week program coming up in Castroville in October. We've got a culinary and baking and pasta training coming up September 18th is when classes begin. Certified programs are available. Space is kind of limited. That's going to take place at MPC. And then we've got a health cadre coming up for young people ages 18 to 24 for out of school youth. That's a 7-week program. The deadline is September 24th, and that starts October 16th. So all kinds of things for people to learn about workforce development and how we bring job seekers and businesses together here in Monterey County. We're always happy to be here, and again, invite folks to log on to our website to learn a little more, MontereyCountyWDB.org.
Well, you went from grocery to culinary to healthcare. There just wasn't anything you didn't touch.
All within just a couple minutes. So hope I met your deadline, lady.
But here's a question for you. Who right now is, well, I noticed that you're having a webinar, a workshop about, working with different generations. Who is looking for jobs right now? Is it across all generations, or is there any particular group that's looking right now?
When I go upstairs to the job center, I think it's multi-generational. I see young people. I see sometimes young moms with their babies. I see older people. So it sort of runs the gamut. Would hesitate to say that it's any one group, because it seems to be a variety. A lot of people are looking for work at home opportunities. We all got a little bit spoiled during COVID, and those are a little harder to find right now, but those are still available for those that have the skill set to do that. Invite people to log on, also look at our website. We've got a great job board on there. You can post your resume if you want to be found by employers. Employers can also contact us. We can post to the job board or post to Cal Jobs for you. So we're all about bringing folks together through our programs and services and helping businesses locally to hire people who are within our realms. We provide some incentivized opportunities for them to do that. So workforce is really the other side of economic development. We're the people side, and sometimes it's kind of hard to talk about. We get kind of thrown off by all the bureaucracy and whatnot, but that's what we're here for, is to clarify, to make things easy, to invite people in. We're a pretty friendly lot here, and we invite you to come down. Again, we're at 344 Salinas Street here in downtown Salinas.
Thank you very much, Laura, as always. And you've always got something exciting to talk about.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thanks everyone for joining us on the news briefing this week. Our next briefing is next week. We'll see you then.